So this is about alchemy and deities and human beings, which interestingly enough, human beings, beings or beans, and what we are as seeds, what nuts are, nuts as in the word nux or lux, because it's the container of the light, the container of the information. The seed or bean holds the keys to all of life. So, what is the essential human diet? What is the essential human deity? The essential human diet is the human, meaning the human is God, the human is the deity is diet. So what has happened is we split. Diet, it means to split. D-I means to split something. So, as a human deity, the human diet is essentially to breathe prana. That's it. We are God, and we produce everything. And so as we split ourselves down into this environment, the things that we should consume, what are they? And what is alchemy? And how does that look when we talk about eat the fruit from the tree that's already ready to be eaten? This is absolutely true. The highest form of knowledge should come from the fruit atop the tree. It's already went through its process. It's already mastered itself. The seed became the lemon, and that lemon is the complete fulfillment of the seed as what the seed offered. And it takes what we consider time to produce that. But we have to recall that as the architects and creators of this entire environment, as the gods and goddesses, what we do is we are the alchemists. This gets into everything that I've always spoken about as being created and creator, as alchemy is something that was put upon us and what we are able to perform. So when we look at something like a seed or a nut or a bean, inside of it is offered all of the information. And we always talk about, as you get into the more vegetarian movement, you talk about taking a nut or a seed and germinating it, allowing it to sprout, and then turning it into milk. Okay, it appears we're back here to where I was. Kind of got interrupted there. Funny enough, at a coffee shop. Coming in getting some coffee after this last video about beans and human beings. And so here we are. We're talking about alchemy and what the process is as creators and what we get to do inside of what we call time. This has to do with diet, and I hope everybody can see what I'm trying to weave together here. Because we're inside of time, although we exist outside of time when we really start to collect in our minds what time is. Time is a frequency, it's a wave. We get onto a wave of time, and we could sit in the middle of that, which is high levels of samadhi and meditation, that where we're outside of time, and then we follow a path. And that path is what time is. And the things that come across us are showing up as frequencies, as vibrations within that matrix of what that timescape is. So as alchemists, what this has to do with our diet and our deity and beings and what we should consume or eat, as I've spoken at length about, our highest source of information is just to sit here and breathe prana and collect some sunlight. That's just about it. That's about all we really need. But then we explore, and we become explorers, and we start to divide up and chop up reality into events and spaces and people and scenarios, and those things are played out inside of time and the time that we make. And that's what we are as gods, as creators, as alchemists. And so while it is most proper in a lot of ways, and proper is maybe not the right word here, but to allow the universe to exist as it does in its own cycles. So there's no speeding up the process of making a lemon faster. But certainly we can alchemize things and extract higher degrees of knowledge. We can isolate elements. We can increase the force, the energy within a small space. We can imbue energy into something. And that is changing time, really. It's changing space and time. And in that same way, the way we can put more energy into something, we can take, in this instance, we could take a lot of fruit and we could remove the water from it. So we'd concentrate it. We'd make a concentrate. And there's ways of actually making concentrates where we allow it still to live by using, and this is a little side note for anybody that's would like to know about it, and it's very interesting, by using the correct colors of light to dry out, say, we'll reduce, say, strawberries. We'd use a red light. I don't remember if it's a red light or we'd use the spectrum of all the other lights. I don't recall this, but nonetheless, there's a way of allowing that spectral vibration to still exist in an organic way, and it still be a living system. Still have its enzymes, we'll put it that way. So when we look at the seed that will produce whatever it is, yes, it's of the highest order to be organically delivered that within the system as it's given to us inside of the space that we're living. But we can also take those seeds and we can turn it into a nut milk. We can put some water on it and we can allow it to blossom. We can let it go to any point we'd like and then extract the information. And we can also take that seed, we can take that nut, we can take that bean, and we can extract from it what we need. And in this case of what you'd call coffee, a coffee bean, or what you would call nuts and seeds such as pistachios or walnuts. Now all of these things, the same could be said. Why would we ever eat a walnut if it's going to turn in a walnut tree? Why wouldn't we just let it turn into the walnut tree? Then what would we eat? See, but if we know that inside of a walnut is what? Is it basically your brain. It looks like your brain, and we get into the signs of nature. We get into food signatures, and we look at the oils that are inside of it, and it's all good for your brain. So we can see that there's a reason to eat nuts and seeds, and there's a reason to use alchemy to extract what we need from something. Just like alcohol can extract the spirit and life force from a plant. So we can deliver it, so we don't need to have it right in front of us. We could take it somewhere. We can become, this is where medicine men came from. This is the whole art of taking and delivering energy of systems that are outside of a source to somewhere else. So I could sit here in my garden where I have all of the plants, I have all of the vibrations, and I could bottle it into tiny little tinctures. And then there's these people around me that are living in chaos and environments that don't have the capacity to grow. And I can take them medicine from my garden that I've alchemized as an alchemist, as a god, as a creator, as a architect. And I use the transmutational qualities of fire as Prometheus, as an alchemist, to boil something, to turn it into alcohol, to take that alcohol and extract plant substances, and I become a healer. Well, I don't per se, but surely I can provide that energy to someone, or allow them something that will open up their energy pathways. And if we really get a little deeper into it, I wanted to do a video on Reiki and explaining to people what that really is, because I had met someone yesterday and we were talking about Reiki, and I said, well, I do some Reiki, and I was trying to explain it, and here's how it works. It's what's called I'm not doing anything. They're healing themselves, but if they won't allow their healing to take place, then it won't happen, because they're in control of their own bodily environment. If they need to think that I'm doing it, and that opens up a pathway, a neurological and bodily pathway. Meaning, if I go and do massage on someone, I'm opening up, using brute force methods, an opening for energy to flow through them. And you could use Reiki as well. But in essence, it's their body doing it. You're just offering something that opens up those pathways. So all of this being said, we are alchemists, we are gods, we are creators, and anything that we can find around us to increase the life force and energy within ourselves and others is probably a good idea, if there is such thing as good in the world. So have fun on your diets and exploring the different types of substances that, like I've said before, there are some substances that add to and some that take away from. And there are times in your life you need to add something to your life, and there's times that you need to take plenty away. And this has to do with fasting and feasting. This has to do with being in meditation and becoming part of the environment. This has to do with the calm before an orgasmic feeling that you get in your body. This is all of these things. So have fun exploring the world. Talk soon.